Alright, so I've got another story time video for you guys here. I'm going to put some gameplay in the background. I'm not sure what I'm going to use yet. It'll either be, I don't know, some ranked gameplay or some Chapter 7 gameplay or even some reload or something like that. It'll just be some normal gameplay in the background. But I had a major emergency on the Tabor Hill farm just the other day. So, for those of you not aware, I do own a farm. I have tons of animals, including over 20 goats, pygmy goats, that is. Of course, I have other animals, chickens, ducks, horses, donkeys, all sorts of stuff. But this story involves my goats. So, I did a video the other day because we had 2 pregnant moms, and one of them delivered. She had 3 babies. I did a video on that. They are absolutely amazing, spectacular. The birth went fine. The babies are doing amazing. Everything went good and just as anticipated for them. However, the second mom, her name is Biscuit. So she was much larger. I'll show you some videos and pictures and some illustrative things as I tell the story. But again, her name is Biscuit. She wasn't quite due yet, but something was wrong. So number one, she looked ginormous. And pygmy goats have usually 1, sometimes 2, and rarely 3 or more babies. Obviously, the more babies in there, the worse it's going to be. They're terrible at giving birth to begin with. So she was huge, and she was having trouble breathing, even way early into her pregnancy. I could tell she was just huffing and puffing, and she was sitting down a lot and not wanting to eat and not wanting to drink. Something was just wrong. So we were getting closer and closer to her due date, and she was getting progressively worse. Her breathing got way more labored, and then she stopped wanting to eat and drink entirely. So we called the vet out, Dr. Pohl, and he came out and took a look at her, gave her some antibiotic shots, gave her a few other shots, and said, let's just keep an eye on her. So a few days passed, and basically the same thing. We were having to force fluids and things in her mouth because she didn't want to eat or drink. So the doctor came out multiple more times, and every time he said, well, let's just keep an eye on her. As long as you're actually giving her stuff via mouth, she should be okay until she gives birth. So finally it got to the point where she was even trying to refuse us giving her medicine via her mouth. So we called the doctor out one more time, and he's like, okay, we need to do an emergency C-section, because if she refuses to eat like this and refuses to drink, she's going to die, and then the babies are going to die as well. So I'm thinking, oh great, I mean, this is not ideal. Number one, how much is a C-section going to cost? An emergency C-section. It's not like I take the goat to his office and we do it in a crazy sterile environment. No, he's got to come out to my farm and do it then and there. And number two, I've never had a C-section on a goat before. I mean, we help the goats deliver normally, but never via a C-section. And our vet, Dr. Pohl, is super old, and he was by himself. So of course I would have to assist with this, and my wife as well. So he gets out there, and we're in the barn, and again, he's pretty old, so we needed to find surface area where he wouldn't have to hunch over. So I have this old freezer that's out there that we keep grain in, so I unloaded all the grain and I scooted it in to a room that we have in the barn. And I took Biscuit and I propped her up on top the freezer. Mind you, it's -20 and there's about 2 feet of snow all around. Outside, that is. So I'm petrified of all of this, and like I said, my wife and I had to help during this because he was by himself. So we hoist her up on this freezer, and I guess all they get is local anesthesia. Kind of like you're going to the dentist. So I had to hold the legs, and my wife had to hold the front area, and then the vet sliced her right down the middle and opened her up, and oh my gosh. I mean, I don't want to elaborate too much, but... So I'm holding the back legs, and, you know, he's opening her up all the way, and I could just feel all the fluids leaking everywhere because I'm holding her. I mean, I got blood all over me. It was crazy. So he reaches in there and he pulls one baby out. Of course, he's got to open the sack because these are not coming out normally. So he opens the sack, pulls the baby out, and then he's got to hand it off. So we also had a friend out there to help us. So it's me and my wife and the friend and the vet. And so we hand the baby off to the friend. You got to help them breathe because they got fluids everywhere. I mean, when he pulled that first baby out, he tilted her upside down and fluids just poured out. So the baby was crying, which was a good sign. So he reaches in while she tends to that one, and he pulls a second one out. First one was a girl, by the way. Second one, girl as well. We hardly ever have girls. Girls are what you want with goats. You don't want the boys because those are bucks. I mean, we keep the boys, but ideally you want females. So he passes the second one off. Now she's trying to juggle two of them at the same time, get them all cleaned up. He reaches back in. He says, oh man, there's a third one in there. He pulls a third one out. And again, he shakes it. You got to shake them like ferociously, like swing them around violently. It's crazy to even see. And fluids are just everywhere. I mean, I am covered from head to toe with all sorts of disgustingness, freezing my butt off because it's so cold out there as well. So now we have 3 babies. They're all crying, but then the friend over there says, I think we're losing them. Now, they all looked good size. This was like only 1 or 2 days early from her pregnancy due date, so they shouldn't have been super underdeveloped. But despite them coming out crying initially, 2 of them died pretty much immediately. So of the 3, 2 of them have already passed away. And so he reaches in there just to fish around to see if there's anything more, and he says, oh, I've got a 4th one. And I'm thinking, this is crazy, because we've never had 4 goats from one single mom before. Never. I mean, it's such a rarity to have more than 2, let alone 3 or 4. So he pulls the 4th one out. It's another girl, so 4 girls. The very first one was still alive. The other 2 passed away, like I said, pretty much immediately. This one was really, really small because, again, the womb is not that big to hold 4 goats. So he pulls this one out, shakes it all around, gets all the fluid out, hands it off. It does cry initially, but it pretty much passed away right away. So of the 4, 3 of them have already died. And I'm mortified over here. I'm thinking, man, we had 4 female goats and 3 of them have already died. This is tragic. And meanwhile, the mom, spliced open with her stomach all the way pulled apart, is just having to lie there. I mean, we're holding her tight as tight can be because she can't roll over. She's literally opened up all the way. So our friend is still working on the first one that was still alive. And again, the other 3 have already passed away. And the doc goes back in and he's feeling around. And he says, there's a 5th goat in here. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? 5 baby goats? I don't think I've ever even heard of that before in a pygmy. 5 goats. So, of course, we're thinking, well, this one, there's no way it's going to survive, right? Because you're only supposed to have 1 or 2 in there. There's not enough room for 5, which explains why she couldn't breathe at all, because she had 5 goats in there. So he pulls this one out. He opens the sack. He flings her around and shakes all the fluids out and passes that one off. And it's the biggest one. It's the biggest one yet. And I'm thinking, okay, this one has a real shot to survive because he looks fully developed. Everything's good. And we hand it off, and our friend says, no, she doesn't have teeth yet. So that means she was a little underdeveloped. And by the way, that was another female. Did I mention that? So 5 female goats. 5 out of 5 were females, which is unheard of as well. And unfortunately, after about 5 minutes, she passed away as well. So only the very first one was still alive, and it was not looking good. So the mama's here, and when you do a C-section, there's no other way to describe it. It just looks like her entire guts are out. So the babies are attached via something called a cotyledon, and it looks like a kidney, to be honest. So again, her stomach is opened up all the way, and there's all these little kidney-shaped things because she had 5 babies. So it just looked like a mess. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how is he going to put all that back into the uterus and sew it up and then push it all back in? And again, we're holding on to her for dear life because she's awake. Obviously, she has anesthesia a little bit, but she's not fully sedated, so she was struggling. And meanwhile, the first baby was still crying. Thankfully, you want to hear the cries, obviously, but the other 4 were already passed away. So I was already a mess, and then he starts picking all these pieces of her up and, like I said, just jamming them into this uterus, and then he had to sew it up, and then he had to shove it all back in. He had to sew the muscle up, sew the soft tissue, sew the subcutaneous tissue, everything. And it took forever. So I thought for sure that everyone was going to die. I thought mom was going to die. Obviously, all 4 of the females died except for the first one. So it was not looking good. So let me just show you an after image right here. This was where we did the surgery. Again, on top the freezer. And there was just blood everywhere. It was like a massacre. So the doctor got her all sewed up. We put her back in her pen, and obviously we were going to monitor her. And then we took the surviving baby inside her house because a C-section mom does not want anything to do with the babies. So obviously she wasn't going to take care of the baby. So we brought her in, and things were not looking good. I mean, she was barely moving. It looked like she was on her way out multiple times. In fact, I thought she died like 5 times. So we got some colostrum, which is the early milk, and we tried to feed her, but it's like she wouldn't even try to swallow the fluid. And so for sure, we thought she was going to pass away throughout the night. But my wife kept at it. I mean, every 2 hours we would get up and give her a few ounces and see how she would do. And at one point she had a huge seizure. And again, I thought she was going to die. But she is still fighting for her life, and she absolutely wants to live. So I did a few videos here. I'm going to show you a video of the baby that we took inside. Again, she's not looking the best, but she is still alive as of this recording right now. And again, it's extremely tiring because every 2 hours, it's like having a newborn baby. I mean, we got to get up every 2 hours and give her food. But the video I'm going to show is right after we brought her in. And I'll show you a video of Mom as well. She's doing fairly well, all things considered. But I just can't believe we had 5 baby girls, which is absolutely crazy. 3 is the most we've ever had, and that is such a rarity. Not just girls, but 3 babies. So to get 5 is just insane. So you may have noticed that I haven't been uploading as much as I normally would, and again, that's because of these goats. The first one, as mentioned, delivered perfectly, but that still took a lot of time, and this one has just been round-the-clock care for both Mom and the surviving baby. So it's not always all smiles and sunshine on the Tabor Hill farm, and again, I have not got the bill yet for this C-section, so God only knows how much it's going to cost. There you go. That is my emergency story. I will update you guys and let you know if the baby survives, but she's fairly stable right now. Mom is doing pretty good as well right now. So fingers crossed they both pull through, but that's my emergency story. C-section on a pregnant goat. How crazy is that? So again, there you go. I'm going to end with the 2 videos I mentioned. I'll show you the baby as well as the mom. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like is always appreciated. And don't forget to use my Support-A-Creator Code, which is tabortime. Look at that scar. Oh, I know, Mama. It's a big one.
I know. How you feeling today? Some major owies right there, huh? Hey, stop drinking all our water. Little kitty cats. Owie. Are you gonna eat for me today? Huh? No? What are we doing? Man. Okay, Mama. So this is the surviving baby, but she's not doing very well at all. Been feeding her every 2 hours. We got all kinds of, like I've been giving her vitamin B, selenium. I also got some, this is vitamin E, and waking up every 2 hours to feed her, but she's, I don't know, Doc says that because they were under so much stress in the womb that there's probably no chance she survives. She's trying. Poor little girl. She doesn't want to quit just yet. I'm sorry, baby.